Hello, Janice Parsons.
Hi, Katie Richburg.
So, Janice and I want to tell you folks something. Janice and I have a saying for 2025. And 2025, scrappy is the new successful.
Scrappy, never crappy.
That's right. So, we were playing around with the camera settings. Janice got a new phone, and we were trying to get her above camera working, but we couldn't quite do it. So Janice is going to be presenting camera forward today. We'll just make it all work. We're going to do it the old school way. So we're always scrappy, my friends. Going live is not for the faint of heart. So I'm really excited though about this broadcast today, because as you saw earlier, Janice and I had a little, let me add this so you can see it. We had let me move us
Such
around.
a gorgeous mix.
Well, so we found a pearl hoard, which we were so lucky to find. Because right now, with everything that's going on, pearls are getting harder to find, especially old school pearls that are colors, all of that. So we found a hoard. We had some that just had a few strands. So I palleted those strands together and I made a mix. And we dropped it very stealthily yesterday. And you folks are picking it up like crazy. So thank you for that. Number one.
It's beautiful.
It really is. And I thought, when I was making it, Chris and Miranda were out here and they were like, look at those purple pearls. Look at those. Look at these. And Chris was all, I want a strand of those. And I'm all, no, they have to go in the mix. So I did stash away one strand of something for me. But I also found, this is almost the last of my Swarovski crystal stash. And these are the 53 series, 5303, 5302, those series. And they're the faceted. They're really cool. So we also dropped those. We're doing those in bags of 10 for you folks. And once these are gone, they are, there we go. That's a little better. They are no more. So we're going to talk a little bit about these as well. Some of you at the retreat, when you made your combs, we had a few of those there for you. These have really nice big holes. So I'm going to show you how to deal with those if you're doing floats with them. But yeah, so that's what we've got and we've dropped. So if you love them, if you love pearls, my friends, run, don't walk, because fortunately for us, but there's only 10 more bags of these guys left. So if you want them, hop on it now. We're going live. We are live. It is Friday the 5th of September. So at 10:42 a.m. on the West Coast. So 10 bags left of those.
I'm going to put the link in.
Okay, thanks, JP.
And it looks like everything I'm posting is double posting. So you'll get twice as many.
No, it's only going
it's
once.
Failed to post.
Oh, the Facebook may not want to post because
it's YouTube.
Oh, I see you on YouTube. It's
right. Oh, you do. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I
Great.
got you.
Great.
I got you. So we do have some strands, really, really beautiful strands coming down the flue. So stay tuned for those. It's going to take Janice and I a while to get them, sorted into batches and get them up. But we will be getting some more freshwater pearls. So that's the story there. Thank you so much for that. So many people are here, Janice. They want your wisdom on floats. They want my wisdom on floats. So where do you want to start with this?
I always think, well, let's start out by just saying floats are so universal, and they can be done on all kinds of different materials. I think over the years at the store in Palo Alto and on the peninsula, uh, I must have done 100 custom floats for weddings,
Yes.
for bridesmaids, like forever you could do bridal jewelry with floats. Um, do you want me to show you some of the floats first?
Yeah, why don't we do that? Because what we're going to do is Janice has a collection of some of the things that she has made. We're going to share those. Then she's going to talk about, even though we have talked about this before on the Pearl Knotting Masterclass, it's never too, you can never reiterate this too often. We're going to talk about and when we say floats, we're talking about the Gouda Broad or the Griffin. Gouda Broad is the old school name. Griffin silk with the needle. Janice will talk a little bit how to choose those. She's got a great trick to show you for that. And then I'll play around a little bit with what I've got on the desk in front of me.
Yes, I'm more than interested in how we're going to handle the whole sizes of the Swarovski and the pearls, because they are so different.
They are different.
Do you want to just measure the hole on the Swarovski so we know that? Because
it's about a 1 millimeter, Janice. It's a big one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's big. So,
okay. So let me start with the floats first, okay?
And I'm going to solo you so people can really see.
Okay. So Kate did floats on Wednesday, and I just wanted to share a couple of floats that really refer back to Wednesday more than today. There is, there's this one, which was done probably 15 years ago. Can everyone see that? These are all like gemstones and glass and semi-precious, and it's done on like 010, I guess that's soft touch. Yeah. And there are no crimp beads. This is that method where you go through the bead and then you come around and you go back through the bead. And if anyone wonders, will that method work? It's worked on this, and this is 15 years, at least 15 years.
Oh, at least, Janice. I think you made that.
Maybe even older.
Oh, it might be even 20 years old. Yeah. It's gorgeous.
And the strands don't have to be all the same length. It's most important how you store it, because this thinner wire can get bends in it. So like this is something I like to hang up on one of the hooks in my bedroom. So it's not going to get tangled.
Will you hold the paper kind of behind it and kind of push it towards the screen?
Yeah.
There we go. And kind of lift it just a little. And yeah, great. So folks, you can see how that is on the soft touch. And Janice has used a variety. Those are all semi-precious with maybe a little bit of crystal in there, JP.
Yeah. And there's also glass.
Right.
Transparent glass, like that. The rectangle yellow one in front is glass. I will mix anything with anything.
Yeah, I think it looks great.
I don't care.
So put it kind of straight, JP. I'll tell you if you're on the
that I don't care club.
Yes, I love that's right.
Is that better? Because I can't see.
That's good. Yeah, that's good. Great. Hold it right there for a second. Okay. I also want you folks to notice with the 0.010, how Janice was saying how she went around the beads to lock them in. There's no crimps there. And I showed you that a little bit on Wednesday. with the thicker cords, using that with that 10 millimeter round. I think that is a really cool technique to explore. I love it, love it, love it. And now, Janice, pull it, lower it just a little lower. Perfect. So right there with the closure, someone was commenting with that little elephant that's on the back. Very whimsical, very fun to keep the chain going down. And then JP, you also used a cap on the end.
I did. It's actually not a cap. It's actually a bead.
Oh, okay.
But by adding, it'll pull apart a little bit, but by adding the round, like 3 millimeter bead and then the seed bead, the top becomes a cap.
Right. So lift it up a little bit so we can see that. Yep. So that is a silver bead with a large hole.
Yeah,
So
that's all it is.
Yeah. Notice there's like a 3 millimeter round. Maybe that's a 4 or a 6 millimeter round. That's forming the top of the cap.
Yeah.
And then underneath, all of the beads are coming underneath, connected with another piece of Softlex, probably.
Right.
Right. So those back beads, that might be a carnelian round and maybe a jasper round or something like that. Right.
Well, I'm not seeing it, so.
Yeah. Well, you can look at it. You can see it now. I think we're good.
Okay.
Right.
So yeah, we should do something like this.
Yeah.
This is like bead soup. It's so pretty on.
Yeah. It really looks nice.
And you just kind of, if one strand is hanging low, you just kind of, crunch them together, and then they all come together.
They look great. So Sandy has some questions. I think you captivated her with this.
Yeah.
How long? So if you were cutting your Softlex, let's say that those strands finished, Janice, that necklace is between 18, 19 inches in length, right?
Which it isn't, but let's say it is. Okay.
Let's say it is. Then how long, when you're cutting your strand?
Well, it is 18. It is 18.
When you're cutting a strand to string it, how long do you cut your Softlex, your soft touch strand?
I would say if you wanted it 18 inches, I would cut at least double.
Right.
Because it may be even, like 60 inches, because depending on how many beads you put on, you have to go back through each one. And you don't want to be thinking, oh, they're not long enough. Right. I think starting in the middle is a great idea. You can start anywhere.
Okay.
As long as you leave enough of your wire on one end. You could use a fishing line on this, but what I like about the 010 Soft Touch is that it's got that kind of gray. It's not whitish. I bet you could do this on 6-pound fire line, and it would look great. Just get out your beads.
Yeah.
Think of it as just soup, chicken soup or vegetable soup, and yeah.
So don't think, like Wendy's saying, this is the crux of what would stop me. How much wire do I need? The thing here, I think, is cut a generous amount. Like you're saying, Janice, if the finish is like 18 inches, right? Think about how you would need maybe, I don't know, 3-4 inches per side, right? So that's another 8. So that's 26. So if we double 26, that's 52, right? So 60 inches, just a little bit extra for fun,
It's more than enough.
is about right.
It's and if you find that you don't use that much, then you've got a piece left over that maybe is enough for a second strand.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no and you know what? We can do this as a class.
Yeah.
There's no reason, but there's no rhyme or reason to to what goes on and what goes where. I just think of it as, you're driving on the highway and you don't want a really big truck right next to you. And the beauty of doing this kind of design and doing multiple strands at the same time. So you could start with one strand, like, poke your foot in the pond, your toe. But then by doing multiple strands together, when you go, oh, I don't know what to do with this one, just go, don't bother with that one. Pick up your next one and start another one. And then what you put on the first strand helps you decide what to put on the second strand.
100%.
Your beads actually tell you what to do.
Yeah.
When you do this multiple lane designing, it just...
And notice how there aren't a lot of repeats. That truly is, when Janice is saying it's a bead soup, there are not a lot of repeats. Maybe there's some small beads that are repeats, but look at the colors. They all kind of just go together in the palette, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I will, if I use like this dark carnelian here, I'm aware that I want to use it someplace else, that I want to balance,
right,
color if I can. But, just pick out beads you like, not too heavy. You don't want, like, this isn't the heavy necklace. Now, can I just quickly show the next one of this one?
Yeah, do.
So
and then
this one, and then
I'm having some camera issues.
So this one is one that I actually made for someone like 25 years ago, and it's Venetian glass and crystal, and
some
then they're bead caps. And I've used crimps on each side of the beads. So this one that is white, it's very interesting. She wore it so much that the gold, there's only a little bit of gold left right up there.
Just a little bit,
Yeah, it was. So, so this was in the old days when and there's some pearls on it.
Yeah, that is,
oh, sorry.
Oh, no, I was just going to say that's a classic bead shop piece.
Yeah, there's fire polish, there's some crystal, and this is done on Softlex. And I don't have it in front of me, but I'm going to guess that this is 019. It feels a little stiffer, but it's got the body you want it. And then on either side are all these really, I love these tiara cast caps.
Yes, old
Remember
school.
those?
Yeah.
Oh, I love those.
So gorgeous.
And then on either side of each bead is a small, like 1x2 crimp bead.
Yeah, just gorgeous.
Smaller than the 2x2. So, but really, we were talking yesterday about how we are going to expand there's so many nice new crimps now, and we're going to get those in.
Yeah, that we really need to have.
Okay.
So there's also, Janice, a request for that necklace you're wearing.
Oh, this one.
Yeah.
I wish I could tell you the story. This is just an old school bead shop necklace done on Softlex.
Yes.
And this is just an old,
Look at that old Tibetan turquoise piece.
yeah, yeah. And it's just, you know, wood and there's some uh, stone beads
Yeah,
here,
gorgeous.
semi-precious, and then these are these old wood ones.
Yeah, I remember those.
Yeah. And then these are a cinnabar, original
Cinnabar.
cinnabar,
Hmm.
not carved, but just, oh, there we go.
Really
Everyone
gorgeous.
see that?
Yeah. Beautiful, JP.
Yeah.
Look at
And
that.
they're not like, the turquoise are nice,
Hmm.
but they're not especially, they weren't expensive beads.
Right.
They were picked because of their color and their
Hmm.
shape.
Right.
And you could make something like this now. It's just, you have to find the shapes, you have to find the darks and the lights,
Right. The colors that you like.
find a pendant. Yeah. So,
So there was a question about asking about how things go back through. So I'm going to add my and then you're going to talk about threads and stuff. Right,
okay.
JP? So
Yeah.
let me add um
You
this
can take me out.
view. Hang on. I'm going to do that. Okay.
Yeah.
So we were talking about these crystals, and here are the pearls. We were talking about these, about hole sizes, etc. So let me just put those there. So the soft touch, I just grabbed my soft flex box. I've had this we don't carry it in white anymore. Softflex may have actually even just sent this to me, or I used it in a class or something. But this is the soft touch in white in the 0.010. I want to show you. It's kind of hard to see because it's white. Let me get a little colored something here to put behind it so you can see it. Here we go. This is what I want. Hold please while I grab it. I've got a little piece of fabric here. So there we go. I think you can see that. So this is the 0.010 right here. Okay, let me get in a little bit tighter so that if you want to jump into this piece, a piece like Janice's with some of what we've got here, it would be perfect for it. Let me get in a little bit tighter like that. There we go. Okay, so I have this is that Swarovski. These are 6mm. But see, what you do is you just string it as far as you want to string it, like this. And I'm just going to go back through, right, JP? That's it.
Yeah.
And you kind of pull it tight. And you can see the soft touch kind of pooches out. It's not a very elegant word, but it kind of hangs out on the side. And then you just get another one, right? Put it on, put it through, and put it where you want it to go.
So I am going to post the link to Floating Spaces.
Okay.
And
that's an old.
That's the original, like how you do this.
Oh, that's great.
It's a handout, and
I've got the pearl. We can also bring it up on the screen too, JP. But see here, look. And it's just coming along. Here's a tiny, tiny. So maybe that'll go kind of closer. But this soft touch, the 0.010, is great. We should get it if they still have it.
Yeah, they do.
in the
They
colors.
also have a few others. If you've got some old,
Let me zoom in.
if anyone out there has, you know, beetle on wire, thin beetle on wire, or um, any one of the others, there used to be, it was called tiger tail.
Mm-hmm.
If you have anything that's, it's got to be thin.
Yeah.
Um, see, the white just doesn't really work with the,
Yeah, it's not quite the same as that, but you folks can see it.
yeah. But that's the method, is you go back through the same bead, and then it's kind of a fun design element the way it does that loop in the
Mm-hmm.
white. And then you just string away. It's really, they're really going to stay there. I'm trying to think of, it'll come to me, the one that we used to use. The handout for floating spaces calls for 010
Mm-hmm.
soft touch.
And
But
that's
I
what this
also
is.
think I used something else. Uh,
Maybe.
I can't remember.
Well, we also used to use what they would call it illusion cord,
Mm-hmm.
and we would use that clear. It's essentially fishing line, but
Mm-hmm.
this is the soft touch, the 0.010. It's not the Econoflex.
No.
Yeah. And I think that Fireline would definitely work. I think heavier Fireline would work.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Illusion cord, I think that would work. Just you just kind of have to play around with it
Yeah.
and see what happens. Janice, while you're talking about, if you want to talk about sizing of the the silk, I'll
Mm-hmm.
go ahead and I'll pull up that handout so everybody can see it.
Okay.
So I'm going to put you back on.
Okay.
There you are. There you are now.
So I'm going to show you a float that I did on the Griffin. It's just a single float. And this is on a number 2. Let me get it so that it doesn't. And I love to just do my clasp to the front because,
Nice.
and this gets to do with the shape of my face, which is sort of heart shaped. And at one time I had a chin.
JP, you look
And
amazing.
and for me, and I think this is true for most people, that the pointed is better than the round. That if we all remember Barbara Bush and her pearls, how that little round circle of pearls used to just, she looked like she was choking. Even if she had put something in the center so that it draped down, it didn't just go round, it would have framed her face better. That's the whole point of jewelry, is making us look good. It's there to glamorize us, enhance the beauty we have. And so I have found that for me, having something in the front is very helpful. Okay. Um, this was when these little gems they weren't a dime a dozen, but they came on a 15-inch strand. You know, these are like little onions.
Yes, they're so
You
good.
know, and um, those were the days. But it's on a size 2 Griffin, so that is very different than the one that you see me wear like 1.5 million times a year. This one, which is on a size 6, it's heavier. So I'll hold the 2 up together so you can see the 2 next to the 6.
Yeah.
So you can just look at the thread, not the beads necessarily, and you can see the difference in the size. The size of your thread has everything to do with the size of the holes of your beads. You can have really big beads with small holes. They can be small because they're either fine gems, or they can have small holes because the way they were drilled, it was like in the old days, they used this drill that looks like a pencil, and they would go in from one side. So here's your bead. I'm trying to draw a bead. Okay. Here's the hole here. It's not too big here, or it looks big from the outside. And then they'd come in with that looks like a drill that is like a pencil. It's pointed. And then they go, okay, we can drill that far. So when you look at the old bead, oh, that's a nice size hole. Then they come around to the other side after they've had a lunch break, and they take the drill going in this way, and they go, okay. And then they do something like this. So meanwhile, you've bought a whole strand of these, and you go to put a thread through that fits here. It's very generous, but in the middle, you can't get any further. You have to use a thin thread to get through this really tiny junction and come out the other side. So this hole size is everything, and the quality of the hole size is everything. So Carrie's saying even her kneecaps. Yes, this is how they do knee reconstruction. Yeah. Do it partly in the morning, take a lunch break, then come back and do the rest of it. I know. I've been through it too. Okay, so how do you pick the right griffin? So the griffin starts out, and this is a color. I'm just picking up a color. I don't even think this color isn't even made anymore, but I'm just showing you this Kelly green. It's a size 4. It comes on this little card. It's made in Germany, and it's just over 2 meters. So it's give or take about 6 inches longer than 2 yards. And the needle is on one end. I want to just show you this needle. The needle is on one end. And then at the other end is where you want your beads to go. So you never throw this card away while you have your thread. This is your Bible. This is your roadmap, your GPS for your griffin. So you're going to want to unwrap the whole thing. You don't start up by the needle and say, oh, I don't need the whole thing. I only need like this many inches. Well, the thing is that this needle on this has been extruded. It's been like joined on this thread so that it's no bigger. It may be a bit smaller, but it's really no bigger than your thread. I don't know anything other than Griffin that has the needle already attached, but once I find what I need, I don't keep looking. So someone else may know of something out there. But what you want to do is, whatever you do, you want to bring your beads down to the end, so that if you're only making and you're knotting a single strand necklace, when you're ready to finish that one, you have all of this left with the needle attached. I can't tell you how many students said, but I have all this thread, but the needle's not available anymore.
Right.
And I go, yeah, that's so then you have to use it with a regular needle, and that's a whole different thing. But that's the magic of this. So the size that we really use, the three sizes we use the most are 2, 4, and 6. The 2 is the one that I would use on that little gemstone. Kate, you usually use the 4, right?
Yes, I'm using the 4 as we speak.
I usually go to the 6.
Mm-hmm.
Only because the 4 doesn't always give me a knot that's large enough.
Right.
Your knot has to be large enough that your pearl or your gem or whatever it is cannot slide over the knot.
Yeah.
It just cannot slide over the knot, or all your work is for nothing. So I wanted to show you how I figure out. I mean, I do figure out what size I need by, if you look at something like this. So this is my sample. I will use this. I'll put beads on near the end. So sometimes you have a little bit left of your griffin and you can't, it's not enough for a necklace. Put it back on the card. And then when you have beads that you think will look good on that thread, you put one on with a knot on either side and you see if it works.
Right.
You can cut them off or you can leave them on. I just, sometimes the beads that are on here are a good reminder of what this works. But I don't throw this out. I know that this is a size 2 and that they'll work with these beads. So the most important thing about your thread and your beads is that they actually work together. You can't get a thread that's too big. You can't use it with a needle that's too fat where the needle meets the thread. They have to be streamlined. That's why we like the griffin. So I'm going to show you just kind of an old-fashioned way of figuring out hole size. So this, and I don't even think I'm going to link this for you. You can find this or anyone like it on Google, on Chat GPT, whatever you want. And it's this one happens to be brown and sharp. It's gauge thickness. So it tells you the gauge of your wire, what that is in millimeters, and what it is in inches. Now, why are we interested in wire? Well, when you get to things like the size of pearls, like this, I don't know if you can you see?
Yeah. There's the hole right there.
Okay. You can't put a millimeter gauge in there to figure out the size of the hole. Like in a good size bead, you can take that's what this top part is for. You can put your bead here and you open it, and then it'll tell you here what size hole it is. So this is for measuring the outside of the bead, and this is for measuring the hole size of the bead. I bet some of you didn't know that. I didn't know that for 20 years, maybe, I didn't know how to use GS Hypo cement properly because I didn't read the instructions. Why should I read the instructions?
This is Janice. This is my favorite part when Janice is in heavy teaching mode. This is my favorite.
Okay.
Janice.
So what we're going to do is we're going to take the bead and then we're going to take, I have 3 sizes of wire. I have 26, I have 24, and I have 22. And I think you have to have some wire at home in order to do this. So I'm going to take first the 26, and I'm going to go through that pearl hole, and the pearl slides. Now, I would like you to do this with at least 3 or 4 pearls. You may have just lucked out with one, but you have to do more than one, and you have to double check that that they fit. Now, this actually is too small for this pearl. The hole is larger. So we're going to go from the 26, we're going to go to the 24, which is larger than the 22. And there's a whole logic behind why the number is smaller, but the wire is bigger. Kate can explain it to you.
Yeah.
So this is the 24, and my wire isn't completely straight, but it works fine with this. Now we're going to try the 22. I mean, if you had like 23 gauge wire, you could try that. That's in between the 22 and the 24, but I don't use it. So I'm going to put it on the 22, and it doesn't want to go. I can try another one, but that tells me, and that one went on, but this is telling me I'm going to have some problems.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with the 22. I mean, the 24. So I'm going to look at my gauge, and I'm going to go over here to the 24 gauge wire, and then the 24 gauge wire, the millimeter size of that wire, if I can hold this up, is 0.511, and it tells me how many inches it is. I'm not interested in the inches. I'm interested in that number 0.511. I look at the card that I have, and I'll look at a 6, and I'll look at a 4. And the 4 is size 0.6. It says it right there. The diameter is 0.6.
Mm-hmm.
And the number 6 is a 0.7. So because this is a 0.5, I should be able to get it on the 0.6, the number 4. I have to tell you that I also got it on the the size 6, because it's not wire, it's thread. So it's a little warm, it's a little tight. I always say when your beads go on, your thread gets warm, the thread is too big for your pearls. So it's not going to move. I've tested all of them. They do go on. So you could use a 6, and that's because it's fiber. It's not metal. But the size 4 is just terrific. You couldn't be happier with this. So I'm going to put it on the 4, and I'll show you. It moves a little, it moves some, not all of them will move. But then the secret is you want to check, come all the way to the end. And this is where you want to check, okay, will it work on the 4? So I just make a simple overhand knot, just make a circle and then go through it. This isn't my project yet. This is that's a single knot. Can you see that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now I'm going to slide my pearl all the way down. Whenever you're knotting, you get all of your tools away from you. You don't want anything to hook around your thread, possibly damage it. And then you bring the pearl all the way down. And I want you to push on it. I don't want you to baby it. I want you to push on it. And if it can go over that, then you have a choice. You have to go to either putting a small, you have several choices. You can put a small little bead on either side before you do the knot. I mean, before you put the pearl on. You can do a double knot if you have the experience, or you can go to the size 6, which will also work. So before I turn it over to you, Kate, I am just going to do that pearl. Actually, I'm going to do another pearl. So I have at the end, I've already made like a knot. And now I have a pearl that's actually smaller, but has a bigger hole. This little guy.
Yeah.
And this is on a 6.
And it slides perfectly.
Yeah. And it works perfectly. So this is where you have to just check, have a stash of Griffin thread in multiple colors and multiple sizes. Don't think that one little card of thread is going to answer all of your thread needs. Life and beading doesn't work that way.
That is correct.
So if you like a color, get it in, like 2 or 3 sizes, because you're going to get beads in those sizes. Yeah. I mean, in those colors. And then maybe get a neutral or something that you go, oh, well, I wear black a lot, or, I want gray for just, it goes with, my silver jewelry or whatever. So I would say you probably need to start 2 colors in 2 or 3 sizes, and then you will have what you need to start your projects and complete them.
Yeah.
So that's it, Kate.
I think
that's it.
That was so full of knowledge, JP. I love it when you put that knowledge down. I'm going to show you folks what I've been working on here with this mix, kind of taking some of Janice's ideas into consideration. And then we're going to go and we're going to look at all the handouts, all of the education that we have on all of these floats. So let me show you this. So what I started to do, and I see your question here, Cynthia, if you were to work with the pearls only, these, what size Griffin would I use? So what I did was I chose 4, size 4. This is the size 4 in the lilac, because I knew, and Janice and I have done a lot of stringing over the years, so we kind of know what to use, right? So if though, we still may be caught out with some of these beads, because some of these are kind of small, like there's some really tiny pearls in here. So I did check it, but something like this, you can skip a bead if it doesn't go on your thread. It's not going to hurt your design, right? So you can just skip it rather than having to have it fit on the thread. But this one does fit on the 4. I did have one that was a little tight, so I just omitted it. But let me show you what I'm doing here with this. And these were the ones you can see I started down here, started testing. And what I'm doing is I'm just randomly, what I like on here, putting some of the beads from the mix. I chose the lilac, though I also took a look at the size 6. I think the 6 might be a little big for some of these. So that's why I popped down to the 4. But this is the olive in the 6, which is really nice. This is the gray in the 6. We have a lot of different colors and a lot of different, a lot of the different sizes. So, but this, you can see, this is the lilac that I used here. So I just started knotting the pearls on single knot, nothing else really, let me get this from out of the way so you can see it. Then what I did was I put a crystal on, and this crystal is just floating. So this crystal has a big hole. Let me get my caliper here so you can see it. And I'll measure the hole in this one if I can. This is over 1 millimeter. It's
Yeah.
1.6 millimeters.
Big. It's big.
Nice hole, right? So these would fit on leather, right? Stuff like that. The smaller ones, let's see if this hole is any smaller. It's a little bit, by about a 0.1 millimeter. And then this one here, this one's kind of hard because it's pretty big. It's about the same, but it's hard to get in there because it's that diamond shape. So something like this, I would need, as Janice was saying, a stopper bead before my, tie my knot, then stopper bead, then crystal, then stopper bead, then knot, so that this crystal doesn't jump over the knot. Or I'm just using this as part of the design, and I'm letting that crystal move around on the thread. And it's not sharp. It's not going to hurt the thread. The hole is nice and large, so it's going to slide on there really nicely. And I think that this looks really gorgeous. Now, one of the things that you can do with this, we could string it so it would just be a float, and you can go back and forth, right, and have multiple strands this way. Or you could string this as one nice long strand and wrap it. That's what I like doing with these floats. And what I do a lot of times with a float like this is I just make it an endless piece. I don't even put a clasp on it. You need to use an end tip, smaller clasp, maybe, whatever. But what I'll do is when I'm done with this, I'll use one of these crystals that has a big hole, and I'll string the crystal on going one way, and then the crystal going, the needle going through the other way, and I'll tie some knots here, and that will be my closure. And we show that on our masterclass, our pearl knotting masterclass. We kind of show the step outs for that. So something like this, though, is literally a string of consciousness, right? You just put the beads on that you like. And I didn't put a lot of space in between. Can you see that? Here I did an intentional repeat with 3. Here, these are kind of close together. So they're not, the spaces are a little different, but I haven't left a bunch of thread there. Okay.
Well, you know what you can do, Kate, is you can see, you can use those 2 small white pearls or the 3 lavender pearls as repeat components that sort of help bring the randomness. It sort of gives it some rhythm.
Right.
You
right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So see how that kind of moves around there, and that's a nice stopper for this. And then when you just tie your knot, just tie it. Do your overhand knot. You can use your tweezers to kind of help you. And I see that there's a lot of great questions we're going to get to as well. So hang tight, everybody. But see here, I'm just going to use that to kind of move my knot in, not really worrying too much about where it's going to land. And then I'll come in and I'll just tighten it up. Then I'll go maybe for a bead that's a little bit bigger this time. I don't know, whatever. That's the beauty of a mix like this. You can't go wrong. Slide it down, and then we'll just use our tweezers to help us out here and get that into position. I'll grab the whole thing with my tweezer and just kind of slide that knot into place. And it doesn't need to be super tight. right? It just needs to be visually tight like that. Okay. So a couple of the questions here, JP, that we had, I know I see that you just answered one.
Mm-hmm.
But there is, let me see. Kaliti is asking, do I pre-stretch my silk? So Kaliti, that's a great question. As you're knotting and as I'm pulling it, it does get stretched as I do that. But I also, before I even start working with it, I do take it in my hands and give it like a stretch like this. Can you see that? And that kind of helps with this. This has been twisted. The cords have been twisted. So it's actually two cords that are twisted into a single cord. So I find that this Griffin silk with the needle already attached has a tendency to stretch a little less than the silk on the spool because it already has that twist in it.
Well, the silk on the spool, you can't use. I get this question a lot.
Right. That's
I
another.
use the silk on the spool
Mm-hmm,
for floats, and no, you can't,
mm-hmm.
because it is more like a thread of silk on a blouse.
Right.
It's a single thread. It's going to stretch. It can't hold up to the wear and tear. But I have found that's one of the reasons, like on this, I will use a size 6, because this clasp here, this clasp here, the way I closed it is it goes back and forth on the Griffin.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of those times where the person on the show would say, this is not for you to do at home. Repeat what I've done here. But this necklace, as some of you know, I've restrung it once, but this is at least 5 years old.
Yeah, you wear it all the time.
And it's just, yeah, it just works. And
See, here's the spool right there. And you can see the difference between that silk that has a twist in it and the spooled silk. The spooled silk, we always use double when we're stringing our pearls. But for floats, the best thing, there we go. You can really see that there. And there was another question, Janice, about the age of silk. You know,
yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was just some of the silk that I have is old, is pretty old. I keep it out of direct sunlight. It kind of lives in its own little box. So I am sure that this silk thread would age over time. But for these silks that are wrapped and stuff like this, it may have been a flaw. If your thread breaks, may have been a flaw in the thread here. Sometimes when you're stringing with threads like this and your beads are too small, you start to abrade this connection between the thread and the needle. And that starts to kind of shred. And you don't really notice it until you go to put a thread on and it all ends in tears. Everything breaks here. So if you've had breakage, really make sure that you're using the right size, that this isn't too big for the size of your bead holes, if that makes sense.
Thank you, Karen, for the nice comment about my necklace.
I'm going to go ahead, Janice, and add in our screen here.
Okay.
So we can kind of navigate to all of, let's see, does this look right? Okay. And so Marianne said she used a size number 2 and her pearls didn't seem rough. I mean, it may have just been a flaw in the thread too, you know. It's
Yeah, two is pretty thin. Marianne, if you still have the broken necklace, I'd love a picture of it. Um, uh, I mean, silk. If you have a flapper dress from 1920, I'm going to say yes. The silk on the dress can deteriorate. Um, it can just literally, especially if it's got beads on it, the weight of the beads pulls the silk down. But that's like it's got to be in special conditions to keep it safe and everything. I think there was either a flaw in the thread, or the thread might have been too thin. But um, I'd like to see a picture of it.
yeah, just so that you can help.
Yeah. I mean, it's
So you can
Griffin
bead
is
doctor it.
pretty indestructible.
Yeah.
It's pretty indestructible. But Marianne, you can send the pictures if you still have them, or the description, to info@beadshop.com, and Miranda will get that to me, and we can talk further, because I don't like the idea that you are making it and the thread breaks. Now, if you were putting the knots in and you pulled too hard on the knot, and you had already pre-stretched it, and the griffin was sort of like you're near your last pearl, it could have thinned out or maybe untwisted, and that's a possibility. But um, there's no cure for that. There is if you use silk on a spool, but not for the single
Mm-hmm.
griffin.
Let's take a look at the website just real quick.
Okay.
There's the full screen right there.
Mm-hmm.
So let's navigate over. If we go here to learning and we go all the way down to archive projects, and we can see, is that still on the, yeah, we can see here at the top, you can see many of these projects were from our brick and mortar store. And we'll just go through. I mean, the knotting and the floats were such a big thing that we did. So you can see there's the tin cup, the kind of the original, the old school version. That's a great one. But as we go down, we've got a lot more float info. This float necklace is on organza. We did a ton of necklaces on organza. I still think it would look great for bridal.
Mm-hmm.
Really fantastic.
And there are no crimps. There's no going back through the organza.
It's so fun.
It's just you have to make a really good glued self needle to get through it. And then you force the bead down and it stays where you want it. It's that's a great handout.
It is. Here's the micro float, which is kind of a fun one. We're going to keep going down until we hit the floating spaces, which is right here. Let me click on that. That's Janice's looping back through the gemstones technique. And you can see these are those, back when they had those garnets and they did them with iolite and stuff, they were the gemstone cut and then they were drilled. But here's the PDF. We'll go to this tab. Is that showing there? Yeah, it is. There we go. Let me go back to here. And you can see here, it has all the tools, everything we used. And you can see how you simply go through and you slide that thread back through to make the loop. So this is a really great one to kind of get you started on that float, kind of.
It looks like we used beadle-on in this one.
Let me see. Let me go back. Let's see. We did use a beadle-on 010.
Yeah.
So any of those wires, but we really love the that soft touch for it,
Mhm.
for sure. Let me go back to this one. So there are a lot of really great learning resources on here. I think that might have been the last of the.
There's the combs and tiaras
Oh, did
up
I just
there
pass it?
that a lot
Yes.
of people have been asking
Yeah, it's right there.
for that, and
Yeah, the PDF is right.
yeah.
It's right here. We're going to play around with more of that. We had so
Mhm.
many really fun, really fun uh, class handouts and
Results. Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, fun results and great class handouts that we did.
Mhm.
So let
Yeah.
me take this out. So whoops, where did all of us go? Hang on, hold, please. Let me see that. Oh, I want to do this, and we want to make sure. Why aren't we there? Hang on. Hang on. There we are. Okay. I don't know what happened. There we are. Okay. And I'm not sure why this background is black, but whatever. Is that it? No, we want this. Okay. Anyway, I'm not going to worry about it. So that's that. So JP, any other parting words that we have for this?
Have fun.
Yeah.
Um, don't forget the needle is all the way over here, and bring your beads down to the end. That's the lesson.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we all want to know. So look at the handouts. Um, they're free. They're there for everyone, to enjoy.
Yeah, and we're really excited to see what you make with the pearls and the crystals and things that you
Yeah,
might have. But yeah, it's been really fun. Everyone,
yeah.
Janice, has been loving to see Sammy in the background.
Oh yeah, he knows we're talking about him
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
Yeah, there he comes.
yeah.
Good
There he
old
is.
Sammy.
There he is. Good old Sammy. Well,
Yeah.
thanks, JP. Next week we've got Emily coming to
Yes.
do a real fun project.
Yes.
So keep your eyes peeled, folks, for more pearls are coming. We're still playing a little bit of catch up. So, oh,
We
look at that,
are.
baby. And
Yeah.
Ramona, I want to leave you with some words of wisdom here because I think a lot of people say this. Ramona is sharing and saying she's scared of making mistakes, so her ideas get stuck in limbo. Ramona, it's only beads, right? What we make with our beads are very easily cut apart so that they're beads again and put back into new necklaces or bracelets or earrings or whatever. So put that fear of making a mistake, put it in a little box, put it over on the shelf, and just give yourself permission to have fun and play. Because if it's not right, I cut things up all the time. You just don't see it on camera.
And Ramona, it's cheaper than cooking. You take a recipe, and more than once they don't turn out for me, and I have to throw everything out. Whereas beads never spoil.
That's
They
right.
never, ever spoil. And you, as Kate says, just take it apart. All you've lost is a little thread and an afternoon. So, and mistakes are what we need to have in order to break through to, oh, that works.
Right.
So mistakes are
Exactly.
important,
Yeah, exactly. Oh,
essential.
Miranda, I'm going to put you on, let's see. Terry Bass is asking, thank you and a future Friday wish, a Miranda tutorial for something fun. So you never know what.
What if it's not bead related?
I think how Miranda comes up with a bead mix
Yeah,
would be
would be fun.
fabulous.
Yeah,
I wonder
that would be fun, right? Because we've got one that we are working
Yeah.
on for next month. So there's also Miranda also has a project in her back pocket that she really wants to do. So we'll see if that comes out. She's got one. She's got one in her pocket. All right. Well, thank you so much, everybody. Have a fantastic weekend. We appreciate all of you being here with us. And I wanted also to mention Janice's gathering on the East Coast is getting full. So if you want to join Janice on October 11th, all of the info is on the homepage of the website. If you want to join her to do the combs and headbands, everything will be provided. All of the info is there on the website. Take a look. If you have any questions, shoot us an email. But Janice has really found a great space for it. It's in a hotel, so if you want to drive and stay over, you can. But it's kind of our little tester to see how things go on the East Coast.
Yeah.
So she would love to have you.
Yeah.
So I guess that's it, JP.
I guess it is.
All
guess it is. Next time we'll have the camera thing worked out, right?
Yeah, we will. But, this was fine too. Again, you just kind of have to roll with the punches. And Janice, everybody is really thanking you for all of the knowledge you threw down today. And everyone loves seeing Sammy with his sleepy toe beans. Oh, Sam.
Yeah. Well, I want to thank you, Kate, for rolling me out, bringing me on live, giving me a chance.
Janice, you're so funny. Yeah. Those of you who are at the retreat know Janice is a powerhouse. So there's no rolling Janice out.
Oh, you got to pass the torch, everybody. Well, you have to pass it
once in a while. The torch is burning on both coasts for sure. All right, JP. Well, thanks. Okay. Have a fantastic weekend, everybody. And I will see you with Emily next week. All right. Talk to you soon.
Love you all. Bye. Bye.